So you're a campus captain for Hidden Opponent, and you're also involved with a bunch of other mental health organizations. So what made you join those and start doing mental health advocacy work?
I think it all started, if I go back to my freshman year, which was 2018. I was a basketball player here at ESU. So I've been going here for the last 5 years, which is really something I didn't think I would say. And I just know my personal experiences with my coach at the time and just how things were like the dynamic on my team. And even going back to high school, I just know that like whether you win or lose, it's not about the wins and losses, especially with your mental health. Um, I have had a lot of different struggles, and I know, like, I mean, everyone does, and I think that's what is unique about me is that, like, I have tried to relate myself to everyone and anyone. Like, I don't care who, like, you think you are or, like, who you are in a community, but you honestly matter because I feel like I didn't matter back there, and so, like, these amazing things I'm a part of, like the Hidden Opponent, Let's Get Real Ambassadors, and what else? I don't even know. I just feel like everybody's like, you're always so busy, and I'm like, yeah, but I mean, if I'm not busy, then like, what am I doing? I'm just wasting time not doing something else, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. You talked a little bit about like winning and losing there. How can you find a balance between like focusing on the wins and losses and finding success in other parts of the sport, like not just focusing on winning and losing?
So with that, I mean, I'm gonna go back to I in high school was a part of a team, a basketball team that I only had 8 losses, I think, in my overall career, 4 years playing on varsity. And like that's like, oh, like that's great. Like, and then people go back and they're like, oh, you're at a school that has 70 people you graduated with. So it's tiny school, but that doesn't take away anything that we did. Because the competition we had was great. It's just people look at the statistics. So I think relating that like to wins and losses now is I'm not in a sport anymore. So I'm really struggled with imposter syndrome last semester and when I was done basketball last year. And wins and losses can't be defined by a specific thing, like a win and loss column in sports, but more of the fact that like a little win could be you getting up in the morning and wanting to start your day. As a loss, I would think like more of the instance where I lost out on an opportunity. I had lost my grandfather less than a month from like a month since it happened. And I just reflect on that because he was probably one of my biggest supporters with sports. And it just, you look back and you're like, I am so glad I did everything I did with him. I called him an hour and a half before he passed. And it's just like that kind of stuff where the sense it is what it is like, I can't go back and change that I didn't talk to him. But I do have that. Well, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I do have a tattoo. It is what it is. And each of my 5 family members that are my closest friends too are the ones that wrote those words out. So having him on my wrist even before he passed, just knowing like wins and losses aren't defined by you winning a game and losing a game.
Mhm. That's so important. I love that so much. What
Mhm.
advice do you have to athletes who are about to graduate, who are maybe scared about leaving their sport and they're not sure what they're going to do next?
I think we just have to realize that we didn't like most of us at least maybe came for sports or you did come for your major. I inevitably came for both.
Mhm.
And after my freshman year, I'm like, I can't do basketball anymore. I really can't. But then a girl who's currently the manager for the women's Villanova team, which I was actually with this past weekend, she's one of the true reasons why I stayed in it because I saw somebody who is a part of I don't know if you've ever heard of the SILS program. A lot of schools have it, bigger, smaller, but basically anybody with a learning disability that can't get into a regular college setting or like they are giving the opportunity to these individuals to be able to go to school and learn a lot of life skills and be in classes with us. So it's really an inclusive environment, especially here at ESU. And just knowing that I didn't quit freshman year and I looked at myself last year and I tore my ACL. Like there's just so many things that I could even like do and say about this, but I tore my ACL my senior year of college. But I decided I'm going to put my academics first and I have to go to grad school here. But there's just no time in the day to even try to think I could still be playing a sport. So I did say I did struggle with imposter syndrome last semester, and it really hit, especially in grad school when you have so many expectations now just for yourself only. And that was the biggest adjustment is I never didn't have a coach saying, okay, well, why did you get this grade? You don't have that support versus like somebody just always watching you. So now you have to learn to live on your own. Now, if you're going into like right into the workforce, which sadly my major doesn't allow me to do that, you have to get masters, but I'm very grateful that I'm getting the chances I am now. But in that sense, if you're really struggling with going into the next chapter, I'd say, like, honestly, just take a step back and do what you have to do first before you even do that, because we never had the time as athletes to go on a vacation during winter break, going somewhere for 3 weeks in the summer without having to wake up in the morning and work out. So it's just all putting it in perspective, and that actually is my word of the year. Instead of saying "New year, new me," you say "New year, new perspective," and, like, that's how I've been going about it, and it's been pretty working pretty well, so we're almost in March. But
That's amazing. I love that. So, last question. What do you
mhm.
wish that more people knew about mental health in sports? If there was one or two things.
Primarily, number 1 is it's really that's not cliche, but it's very general.
Hmm.
We are more than our sport. We are defined more than our sport, and mental health and physical health are the same exact thing. In a sense, they both are things that we need to take care of before we can even function or wake up and go do something in the morning even. So, just knowing that, like, there is a very high importance for both, and like learning and adapting to new different ways and just being able to take a perspective that you never thought you would take. So
Hmm.